Hey everyone, Jeff here with the JFree906 podcast and we got the Beyond Skinwalker Ranch series. All right, yeah, how's that going?
Yeah.
How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. How are you, Jeff?
I'm doing fantastic, and I've been waiting for this show to come out,
Yes.
and I thought it was pretty good. What do you think? I mean, I
I
wasn't sure.
I felt like they hit the ground running. I
Mhm.
mean, this series is starting during one of the most exciting Skinwalker Ranch seasons yet. So
Absolutely.
I feel like they to follow Skinwalker Ranch, it's a hard act to follow, and I think they did a really good job. I'm really pumped to see where the team goes next.
Yeah, me too. Well, I didn't run a intro tonight, guys. I just jumped right into it. I thought, you know what? I could well, honestly, all right, I'll tell you the truth. It's because I didn't make one for this show yet. So that's why that's why I didn't do it. So anyway, all right. So I
Hey,
did
you're a busy man.
yeah, I've been remodeling a bathroom in the house and and it's just yeah, that's been a when you're dealing with an old cabin that honestly I have really no idea when this thing was built. You don't know what you're going to find when you start doing a remodel. And yeah, that's exactly the case. Jim foolery, tomfoolery, Jim foolery. All right, yeah. Hey Jim, how you doing? Hey, Jim's going to be with us tomorrow night, right? Is that the one? Yeah. Jim Kilgard's going to be with us tomorrow night when we're breaking down episode number 7 of the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that. I hope Jim is ready for that. Are you ready, Jim? Are you gonna, be on here? So that'll be great. So we're looking forward to that a lot. So yeah, this has been a show I've been really looking forward to, and I'm looking for the upcoming episodes. One of the things with these guys was tacos for everyone. Woohoo! Loving it. That's awesome. Yeah, you know what? I gotta check something real quick because I just heard. Want to make
Alrighty.
sure something is working here. Yeah, okay. It looks like everything's good. All right. I heard a little bit of an echo there, and it's
No.
just my empty head. That's what it's about, my empty head. Hey, folks, if you're watching here for the first time, and if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up if you like the content of our show, because that really helps us with the YouTube algorithms. YouTube looks at that, and they also look at the chat messages, and those two things combined together make them decide whether or not they want to display this podcast as one of the suggested for similar type stuff to other people. When you're watching a video on YouTube and you see over on the side, you see these suggested next and interesting things like that. If you see, if we want to be on that list, so and they look at the thumbs up and they look at that kind of stuff to see if they want to advertise you or not. So it always, oh, that's a big old bug is flying around. I'm not, I'm being skinwalkered already. So yeah, if you like the content, please give us a thumbs up. And we've got a couple of new things happening with the you can help support the show. We've got a Patreon channel. It's patreon.com. It's Patreon, and you can find me out there at JFree906. We have several patrons. And I tell you what, I so appreciate each and every one of you so very much, because it helps to keep this show going. So I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And we've got some new stuff here. As you can see, I've got a t-shirt here. I really haven't come up with any kind of thing for selling all the swag and the hats that I got, or tumblers over here. You can get one of those tumblers. You can get those at blue6laser.com. There is a link below to get one of those, and you can see it down in the description. Several people have, and I thank you very much. Those are made by Jess Grow. Well, she doesn't make the tumbler, but she does the engraving. That's Jess Grolo, who was on Beyond Oak Island a couple of times, and she'll be back. Yep, there's the logo or the website right there.
That was my favorite episode.
Yes. And Poverty Island was awesome, and I really liked that. Yeah.
You've probably known about that island for a lot longer than I have.
I know about the island because it's off the coast of Escanaba up here in the UP, but I didn't know anything about its history like that.
Yeah. They really made a lot of headway on it. Sorry. Easy to get distracted.
Yeah, no, I know. Me too. I know. I'm the same way. But, and that's one of the things. Let's go ahead and dive into this episode. So this was Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. It was season 1, episode 1, Bradshaw Ranch. And one of the things that people are saying about it right off the bat is how much interaction with the show will Travis, Eric, and Brandon, or any of the other guys from the ranch have with this show. And I honestly don't think there's going to be much. Does that
Right.
mean it's going to suck? No, I don't think so. Based
Mm-mm.
upon what we saw last night, I don't think it will. So, but we also, real quick, I want to say too, is we like the interaction with everybody. We are going to try to keep this show a little bit short tonight. So that means I got to hush up and get to it. Because as all of you insiders know, there's Ranch Revelations is on tonight at 9:00, and that's in about an hour and a half. So I don't want to delay because I want to watch that too. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's for the insiders. And if you want to be an insider for Skinwalker Ranch, there's a link down below for that in the description of the show as well. It's a great program. It's a paid program. I think it's like $10 a month, something like that. But I love it. I absolutely love being part of the insider program. And I can't wait because we have the revelations tonight. We're going to have probably Thomas and Caleb and Eric and probably Brandon. I don't know who all will be there. Dragon shows up when he can. And they come in there and they just tell us all about all the episodes up to this point, but more focused with the one that was just on. Ron, thank you, sir.
Hey, Ron.
Ron, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
did you see me on the second floor of
oh, was that Ron?
So you were the what they call it?
Like a black shadow person.
Black shadow person? Oh, well, you're kind of white. Your ghost is kind of white there, dude.
Yeah, with the insiders, for me, I mean, you get eyes on the ranch. You get to hear the sounds of the ranch. You get to interact with other people that are just as into it. And then we get things like tonight where they take questions from us about a show that just aired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is cool. There's so many benefits to it. One of the new people got on there today, and I'll make this real quick and we'll run to it. But one of the new people got on there today, and they asked, has anybody ever seen anything anomalous or UAPs or anything like that watching these live streams? And there was about 10 people that said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of them. I have seen it documented, a UAP that flew by. I happened to catch it. No one else saw it but me. And I was so happy. It was so cool. And it may end up, well, I better shut up. All right, never mind. But there has been a lot. There has been quite a thing seen, and it's really cool. So, and we get to be part of the investigation. So there you go. All right. So the show takes off on Tuesday night. It was last night. No, Thursday night. It was Tuesday night. I'm so used to doing a show on Wednesday. So the show takes off, and we get introduced right away. We got Travis and Eric and Brandon in the command center at Skinwalker Ranch, and the show takes off right away as we get to meet the two guys that they have brought on board to do the investigations for Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, and that's Andy Bustamante, Bustamante,
how I would say
Bustamante,
or Bustamante. I think
Bustamante, and Paul Beban. Now, have you looked into these guys at all yourself? I mean,
since the show, I have. I have not watched too much. I have seen that Paul Beban has some other paranormal things that I'm going to definitely check out now. But I was new. I had never heard of these guys until seeing them announced before the show started. What about you?
Yeah, I was the same way. Hadn't really heard of either one of them. I know that Paul Beban does work for A&E.
Okay.
So he's been around there. He's a podcaster. He's a newsman. He's been, worked for news organizations, and he hosted a series on Discovery Plus.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to check out.
Yeah, so he's been around quite a bit, but Andy was the first I had ever seen of Andy, and didn't know anything about him. So a little bit about them, the two guys, and they talked about this a little bit last night on the show. Andy is a graduate of Air Force Academy, former CIA investigator. Does that mean he's a spy or was a spy?
Well, I find it interesting you say former, because that's what I always thought. Are you ever ex-CIA?
Oh, I don't know.
But the show keeps calling him an ex-CIA agent. But I would agree with you. Former, it's you don't say ex-Marine, former Marine.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Shouldn't know much about Andy. That's the CIA. That's true. Yeah.
That's a good point. Was that Linda?
He's retired Air Force, so thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he's an investigator. I mean, that's what he does. So that
Yeah.
should work out real well.
For
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, for the words Travis used of "we need a special ops team," seems like two good guys for a special ops team.
Yeah, right. And Paul, being an Emmy award winning journalist for ABC and PBS, shot at and tear gassed. I mean, you can't, I wouldn't want either one of those.
Mm-mm.
So and he's, like we said, he's had some shows and stuff. So I didn't really know too much about these guys. I'm not going to toss them out right away. I want to see what they're all about.
I agree.
And I thought, and I have to say this, Travis Taylor, if you happen to ever watch this podcast and you hear me say this, all right, I'm going to say this up front. Honestly, I've seen it. I saw the guy on Rocket City Rednecks. Loved that show. Thought it was great, great stuff. I learned a lot actually too from that. But then I also saw him on Ancient Aliens,
Mm-hmm.
and then he came out, and I didn't know much about him though. And then he comes out to Oak Island
Yeah.
because they came to him, and they wanted him to come up with his own theory about star alignments and stuff like that for Nolan's Cross and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So he came out there and he did it. And when he came on when he came on Beyond Oak Island on the island there, and he did that in the war room, I thought, okay, I don't know about this guy. I really did. I'm thinking, who is this dude?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of a background does he have? I have since come to respect your expertise and your background, Travis. So there you go.
And his unique perspective he provides. He's
Yes.
for being so for having such a high degrees. He I feel like he thinks outside the box in a way that a lot of academia maybe doesn't. I saw him on a show about Tesla. That was my first experience with him. It was one season, and he was trying to reenact some of Tesla's experiments, and that's where it won me over, because I had kind of seen him on Ancient Aliens, but his Tesla show, which I wish they had done more than one season, it was really good, and that's where he won me over with his expertise and his character.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't
It's
seen
good.
that.
Me and my wife love doing Travis impressions as we watch the show. And that's no disrespect, Travis. We love
What
it.
in the crap?
Yeah, what in the crap? Oh, dang. And my wife will chuckle because she goes, he's so smart and he uses the biggest words, with his accent, it sounds so funny.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you don't expect all that, intelligentsia to, well, I better shut up right now.
Oh, well, I'm a Southerner, so
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, he's and I have come to respect him and what he knows and where he's been, his experience, his education, and the UAP task force, which is where he knows, new
what the crap?
What the and they said, it makes no sense.
That was good.
I love it. But I tell you honestly, I really have come to respect him and what he knows and all the guys on the team. So with that said, that's what I'm going to give Andy and Paul. I'm going to give them that same respect. I'm going to wait and see and make my judgment based upon what we learn about them. So regardless of who they are or where they've been, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to see for myself and make up my own mind as to what they know. So I thought it was really cool, though, that they are taking in this show, they're looking at some of the ways that the guys have done their experiments, and they're now going to apply that around because they have had some success at some data.
Yeah.
And they're now going to apply that on other areas. How many times have we said that these phenomena are not held to the fence of Skinwalker Ranch?
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that they're going to be taking some of this and going around in different areas, like the thermals and the radiation, looking at radiation and all of that kind of stuff. And the sky, and the 1.6 gigahertz, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's so fascinating. It's really going to add a lot to just the question of, are all these phenomena happening all around the globe? Are they one source? Are they multiple sources? Do they behave differently based on geographic location, based on observer? It's just more data at the end of the day. And I really am excited to see a lot of the familiar faces return.
Yeah, yeah. That was what was really cool about it. So but yeah, so now they're taking this information and they're going to start working and going around with it. And I have, of course, as you folks all well know, Bangkok, Thailand. Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
my mom lived there for a little bit.
Wow. Who was
Growing
that?
up.
That's over on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know who that is. If you're over on Facebook, I'll just say this real quick too. If you're over on Facebook, oh, that's Steve. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Welcome. Thank you for coming tonight. If you're over on the Facebook side and you're watching live and you have not let StreamYard use your name, and it's a simple process and it just puts it up there, then it comes over as Facebook user. If you haven't done that, throw your name on there, Steve, or something like that, so we know who you are and I can acknowledge your comment that you brought up. So we like to do that, So um, when I look over there, that's what I didn't like. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us that are into UFOs, UAPs, phenomena, high strangeness,
Mhm.
I think a lot of us are skeptical of authority organizations. Like with a lot of these hearings that they're said to investigate, and then maybe they make light of it.
Mhm.
And I share those feelings and skepticism as well. But I'm like you, Jeff. I'm just going to take them as individuals and you
Mhm.
know uh,
Make
see
your
what
own
they
judgment.
uncover. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Make your own, base your own job. And I try to do that with everyone, regardless of whether they're on TV or I meet them in person. I
yeah,
like to make my own judgment of someone and take it from there,
yeah, yeah.
And when somebody else tell me, oh, that person's an idiot, doesn't know what he's talking about, I will try to wipe that slate clean and let my own judgment decide as we go along. So yeah, healthy distrust of authority. Yeah, I've been following the story of Bradshaw Ranch for several years. It was nice to see it get some prime time exposure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what a cool place to start.
Oh, I'm telling you, yeah. And you know what? And I had heard about it, but I real honestly, not like Jim said, I hadn't. He looked into it. I never really had.
Same.
Uh, and
I,
that's my own fault as a person getting into all these stuff and doing this research. I should have known about that. I really didn't. Just from a cursory, just a mention. All right, so the Bradshaw Ranch, and they give us the coordinates down there at the bottom. I thought that was kind of cool.
that is cool.
So initially, the guys go out to the center, and there's Paul getting to meet the team, and there, of course, is Andy. In this book right here, and again, this is another one of those things I knew nothing about. This book,
Right, adding it to the list.
yes, I, I did. I saw it's available for Kindle. I was hoping it'd be in an audio book, but it's not. So I found the Kindle version, and that will be added to my list of books that I'm reading in Kindle. I'll be adding that in here within the next day or so. So Vesta says she has that book. She's been reading it. All right, cool. What do you think of it so far, Vesta?
Yeah, how many of you watching have read this book? Let us know if it's
Mhm.
what you think.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know what you think. Should I get the book and read it? That's what I should ask. And let me ask it like that. Is it worth my time to get it and read it?
Oh, I'm sure you have a million books on your list, Jeff.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's a lot. You know what? And that's the thing. And I like to read these books because they pertain to the subjects that I'm talking about, especially when I have an author on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like to read their book before I have them come on so I can talk intelligently about, their subject matter. So that's just one of those things. Join the I know, Vicky, I know I should. And you guys, but you always seem to be doing that when I'm working.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pop in and listen when I can, but I'm with
Yep.
you. I'm always working.
Yep. Yeah. If I'm not working at my 8 to 5, then I'm working doing, getting prepared for stuff. And it's just hard for me to find the time. But in this talking about Bradshaw Ranch, they have seen some things. They've seen orbs and they've seen UAPs. There was even the talk that Mr. Bradshaw had mentioned about the he called it a spacecraft or a spaceship. He called it coming down that hillside and onto his ranch.
Yeah.
Um, I, what do you make of that? I mean, that's just crazy to see something. I mean, it was within a few hundred yards, and he had to have had a clear look at this thing. That's just amazing. Um,
I, I tend to really, I don't know if it's I'm gullible, but I tend to really take ranchers at their words.
mhm.
Like on Skinwalker Ranch, guys like Thomas, they say they see something. I don't think they're prone to fancy and making up stories. I kind of got the same vibe from this Bradshaw guy. Even as he did feel like an outgoing character, larger than life almost, but I don't think he would have just made that up. I mean, his ranch was already famous. He wouldn't need to throw in UFOs.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he had everything going for him. Why would he need to make that up? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So there he is. There's Bob Bradshaw.
Yeah.
And
I
he's
mean,
standing
look
there.
who he's hanging out with.
He's hanging out with Elvis. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't love that? And that's in Elvis's early days,
Man,
too. I mean, look at
I
that
would,
face.
I
Oh
would
my
love
God.
to have that outfit.
Yeah. I mean, he's hanging out there. It's a movie set. He's got a movie set on his ranch. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
So,
seeing this made me wonder how many times I had seen Bradshaw Ranch and just never realized it growing up watching old westerns with my grandpa.
yep, exactly. Yeah. And there he is there. That was in an interview from 1996. And there's pictures. So I had to grab that picture.
Beautiful.
I'm going to be heading out there now. I've got a new destination when I go out west. Can't
Mm-hmm. Oh,
wait. I'll be going to this place as close as I can get anyway while I'm out there. So yeah. So Elvis was an alien. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful place. I just love this. This is so cool. And here was an orb that was captured out there. And you know what? Orbs are one of those things. Some people will throw out orbs right away and say that there's nothing to them.
right. I was one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I gave historic ghost tours for a while and really got to know the difference between lens flare, refracted light, and a true orb like this. That's legit right there, I think.
Yeah, I will, Jim. Let's do that. Let's definitely do that. And Seth isn't that far away either. Maybe we can get him to come and join us.
Yeah, don't you guys leave me out.
But Dino, I have captured orbs and stuff like that too. And I think that they are sometimes, and I realized this once, that we had a very light misty rain and pictures being taken showed a lot of orbs. And I think it was because they were picking up the raindrops that were
Interesting.
falling
Yeah.
as they were coming down. But if you have taken them and you're in an area where there is no rain and there are very few bugs, especially in the colder months, and you
Yeah.
still pick up orbs, now what are you calling it?
And I don't think Sedona is a moist climate. There's a lot of moisture in the air. And that seems to have I don't see the color in those like kind of rain orb or like rain spots that you see like with this. Like this is truly probably was changing colors to the viewer, I imagine. Because I see purple, I see blue, I see green. Could it be not an orb and just a camera artifact? Sure, but I feel it's an orb.
I do too. And like I said, I've seen them. I've seen, on what I'm going to call paranormal investigations, but I'll get into that in a little bit because I have some interesting. You guys, some of you have already heard me talk about how I feel about paranormal investigations. I've done a lot of them, and because I've done a lot, I have changed my perception of what I'm actually looking for or what is the cause of much of that. I'll get to that later.
Right. I think this show is going to be one of those shows that does that for a lot of people, makes them kind of analyze orbs differently than just some ghost hunting thing.
Right. Exactly. I agree. They talked about skinwalkers. They talked about orbs, skinwalkers, portals.
That picture. Do you know the history of this picture?
No, I don't, but they use it. They use it on
I'd like to know
Skinwalker Ranch
who
as well.
took it, when it was, what tribe this is. Is this like what's going on in the picture? Are they reenacting?
I think it's a reenactment, and I
what the
think
Skinwalker is.
yeah, or a medicine man of some sort. I don't know that it's actually a Skinwalker.
Yeah, it's a very striking photo.
It is. It's kind of.
It'd be really cool to have AI colorize it,
Mhm.
because I'm seeing his pants, the waistband. Anyway, sorry.
No. This is really interesting, but they have used this quite a bit. So, B. Jones, I found 4 movies filmed on Bradshaw Ranch: Gunfighters, Riders in the Storm, Stay Away Joe, Angel, and the Bad Man. Wow, cool.
That's very cool.
I have seen a couple of those actually.
Yeah, I've seen Gunfighters.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Stay Away Joe or Angel and the Bad Man.
Which one was Elvis's movie? I don't know. And I know I've seen just about every Elvis movie, but I don't. Was that Riders? No, that wasn't Riders. I don't know. They talked about this, and when they mentioned this, they were mentioning it as in a. She looked out the window of her kitchen. This is Linda Bradshaw.
Cool. I will.
And looking out the window of her kitchen, and she saw what she called looking into another time and space merging in with ours, like a projection screen. Now, obviously, this is a makeup picture that somebody created to visualize or to show us a visualization of what she saw.
Right.
But she saw what she took as being another. Like a merging of another time and space.
It sounded like what
Crazy
people who lived on Skinwalker Ranch reported before Bigelow bought it, where they see a portal open up and they can see a different land through the portal.
Wouldn't that freak you out? And I've mentioned this, and I've asked people this question before: if you had a portal appear, would you step into it? I grab my backpack and my jacket, my boots first, maybe a respirator.
Right.
It's a toxic, but I don't have any new cartridges. So once I'm done, right? Stay Away Joe. Oh, okay. 1960.
Yeah. See, I after watching Expedition Bigfoot and hearing the Native Americans tell them not to follow the lights in the woods at night, I think I'd have to fight my urge to jump into the portal and go, well, maybe I'm not meant to go in. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah. I was writing a book once, and I've got several chapters written, but I never finished it because it scared the crap out of me to think about it. Isn't that silly? Writing a book, and yet you can't finish it because it scares the heck out of you to imagine what you're going through in the book. But it was called Limbo. It's a book called Limbo, and it talks about going through a portal and you end up in limbo. You're stuck in limbo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that makes a lot of the fact that you got scared, I think makes sense, because there's, actors and artists, they feel that as their, if you're portraying someone with, mental illnesses or, you kind of, it can do damage to the actor, I imagine, if they're not careful. Yeah. So it makes sense as you're writing something, you kind of get a little too spooky.
It would, because I was getting into it, and it was all based on a dream I had as a kid.
Oh, well, even more, you're manifesting your dreams into a spell. I mean, the esoteric, interested person in me would, think that you were literally casting a spell.
Jeff, you wrote a book, or were reading the book? No, I was writing a book. I never finished it. I've got several chapters written. It's called Limbo. And it's about finding a portal and stepping into it and being stuck in limbo with all the souls that have been stuck.
Oh, that's creepy.
You're stuck in there with souls, good and bad ones, but most of them are bad. So there you go.
Isaac Asimov has a book. I think it's Pebble in the Sky. I think. But basically a guy, in our era, I think maybe 1950s, he was walking down the sidewalk and he trips and falls on the ground and gets up, and he's like 2,000, 5,000 years in the future. And he basically fell through a fracture or portal, and nobody speaks language. All the humans have evolved to where they don't have any hair, so he looks all barbaric to them. But that always creeped me out reading it, because I thought, well, if these things exist in nature, I don't want to be one of those people that just disappears, and where'd Seth go?
Yeah,
Who knows?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, there have been people, you talk to David Pilates, and
Oh, his stuff creeps
that's
me out.
one of his things, and that's
Like, someone will
people
walk.
missing him. Yeah,
Yeah, they're walking. I have to forget who. Some girl, maybe she was walking, and then turned around a tree, and they're waiting for her to come around on the other side. She never did.
never
Just
did.
missing for
Just
years.
411. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, yeah. It's great. Really interesting stuff. And when they come back, they're how changed they are when they're found again, if they are. Yeah. Yeah. So
So Bradshaw Ranch.
back to the Bradshaw Ranch. Yeah, we gotta keep moving along here. John Wayne, Lou Diamond.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, cool. Yep.
I'm gonna watch that one.
Yep. That's
agree.
scary. It is, Vesta. Yeah. All right. So here the guys are meeting. They're over here and they're on the ranch and they get to meet with John, who is the Bob Bradshaw's son, and Bob Bradshaw's grandson, Mason. They brought them out and brought them to the ranch there so that they could perform their investigations, help them a little bit, and all of that. There's a picture of Bob and Linda Bradshaw back in the day.
That's a great photo.
It is. That was, yeah, I really like that one. Yeah, that is a great photo. And here we finally get to see, like you had mentioned earlier, some of the guys that are coming back that have been on Skinwalker Ranch doing their stuff. And we got Casey Smith, Qualtech radiation expert. And what's cool about him being out there, not only him and his expertise coming out, but this gamma cam.
Yeah,
This thing's awesome.
absolutely. Yeah, it is one of those things where I was, Googling, what is this? What is, what am I looking at here? And Travis they go back and kind of what you were talking about earlier, how Travis and Eric won't have too much to do with it. I do like that they're ending the episode by reporting the data, and we're getting to hear what Travis and Eric the first time that they're receiving in this information, we get to see their reaction to it. And I think Travis's reaction to the gamma camera was really informational.
Yes. Yeah, they're like, I get one of that. Get that over here.
Right.
So
yeah,
what we're gonna see probably when they first found out about it, we're probably gonna see this show up on Skinwalker Ranch now.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, come on, right? You have to have Casey. Come on, Casey, get over here with that. Why didn't you bring it to us first?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We
didn't know you could do that.
So there's the guys checking it out right there. And of course, they get to go off and start looking at some stuff. And we'll get back to this thing because it did find some interesting information. Then you have the Identifinder R400, which is a FLIR. Good device there. I am somewhat familiar with that, but also
interesting.
And with FLIRs. Yeah. Yeah, darn well better for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Where's he been keeping that camera, right? I know. So there they are kind of working. Here's a little look at some of the radiation that it's picking up. It picks up radon. I mean, there's some stuff over here on the side that we saw real quick. I'll jump back to it. Radon, uranium, thorium, and actinium. That one I don't know anything about.
Never heard of it.
About that one. I've heard of the others, but I don't know anything about that one.
They didn't teach me that in history.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, they're working on these different things, and I got that book back in there for some reason. Oh, it's because of the people that came out. There's Tom Dongo, and of course Alexandra Caldwell. Yep, investigator, and that was kind of cool. And here's one of those orbs that they were talking about that is captured, and I thought that was really neat. But there's actually more than one. If you look around, there's that one. There's a little faded one there. There's one right here on her hip.
And there's one in the very front, kind of in the tree too.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering if you're talking about that. I thought that was, but I'm not so sure it is. It might be because it is kind of highlighting that area. I couldn't tell if that's really one of them or not.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. But,
her story about feeling, what was it? She got pushed or tapped?
Touched on her head.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me.
I have too. It happened to me just the other day, as a matter of fact. Yesterday.
Interesting. It would happen to me at the same place behind the San Fernando Cathedral.
Really?
Yeah. In Anyways, yeah. Only place I've ever felt that. But we would get orbs back there all the time, and shadow people.
Yep, that was
is a lens flare.
Do you think so?
So,
are you talking about this right here? Was lens flare, Kate?
Or
the one that's right there in the front?
Or is all of it a lens flare?
I don't know.
I don't know how it could all be.
I have taken some pictures with orbs in them that has probably 50 to 75 orbs in the picture.
Wow.
And was
You've taken them?
I took the picture myself.
And did you feel like there was a presence as you were taking the photo?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I trust
that's
people.
Why I took the picture.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's why they took this picture.
Yeah.
You can even see the look on her face where she's
the tree. Okay.
Kind of creeped out. Like, there's something right behind me.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So the tree, you and Kate were thinking that's the same thing, that's not an orb.
It does sound like dust, but again, it was a still night. I tried to rule out everything, and you talk about Eric, and if you bring up something with Eric, be prepared to give your analysis of why you think so and why you think it's important and all that.
And what we would learn if A happened, or if B happened, or if C happened,
So whenever I do that, I try to eliminate all the other possibilities. Was there a wind to kick up dust? Was there anything in the trees that could have been blown from the wind that would have caused it? And like pollen in a heavy pollen season, it was cold out. There was hardly any wind at all. So could have been dust? Okay, I can't tell you what is an orb anyway. We don't know.
Plasma.
So could it have been dusty? I can't rule it out, honestly, but it was crazy, and it was at a graveyard. So, yeah. So, here they are, kind of talking, and Tom's taking them around and showing them some different things that happened while they were on the ranch, and doing some of the investigations they had with Linda, and Bob Bradshaw. So that was an interesting thought. I think that was interesting, and that's part of the investigative process that these two are conducting. You have to get people like that out there and talk to them to find out, different parts of the story and piece it all together, right?
Yeah. And it was interesting hearing Andy talk about like how he establishes credibility as he's interviewing people. The different levels of credibility, and it was cool. I like that. Right.
Not that you can't be fooled, but there are ways to, when you're talking to somebody and they're telling you a story, there's kind of some telltale signs as to whether or not they're being credible or they're just giving you a wild tale.
Right.
Yeah. Here was the fence, and they were showing that fence or that corral, and he was telling the story of the horses. Now, this one, I almost had to think that it was not something that was paranormal or UFO, UAP, or anything like that related, but more predator animal related that was making the horses go kind of nutso and kicking there and wanting out of that fence line. I was thinking it was more along those lines, but I could be wrong. But when they were telling the story, that's what hit me right away, because I was raised with horses, so I know how they react to certain predators. And so, that's what hit me right off the bat. Well, I wasn't there. I don't know. I didn't witness the scene myself. So I'm not a judge to say. That was just
right.
what I thought.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. I don't know. I wasn't raised with horses, and I don't know the behavior of those animals, or even, as far as I understand, horses have very distinct personalities. So I don't know the personality of this horse. One thing I will say that bugged me about the editing, I swear those were pig noises, not horse noises, as they were saying the horse was panicking, and they were playing like a noise as if it sounded to me like the sound of a squealing pig.
Well, it did.
Not a horse.
And horses can make a squealing noise.
Can they? Okay.
Similar. Yeah, they can. Yes, they can.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. Thinking, have I just never heard a horse squeal like that?
You hear a regular whinny, which is a regular horse whinny.
Yeah.
But when they are frightened, and they can make a very high pitched squeal noise.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I've heard
Interesting.
it. So there you go. But I thought this picture was kind of cool because I'm looking at something right here and something right here. I grabbed that picture and I'm like, what is that? Just something in the camera? Yeah, I think it's just something in the picture. I don't know that it has anything to do with anything, or it might be a picture of a picture or something, because it looks like there's some other glare coming off it someplace in certain
Yeah,
spots. But I saw that and I was like, what's that?
they
Why is
definitely.
there a misty looking
I see
uh
that too now.
yeah, a misty looking thing right here and right here. So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't know what the picture was all about, but
I mean, in a place like this, you gotta look into everything, right? You can't
yep,
write it off.
exactly. Here's another guy that they brought out, and I really like Guy Blocker. They brought out. He's a thermal imaging specialist, and I really
Hmm.
liked him because he had, when he came out. Now remember, when he came out to Skinwalker Ranch, they kind of did a look back at Skinwalker Ranch 2020, and he was out there and he was performing a thermal experiment while they were playing back the rabbi chant, I believe, at
Hmm.
Homestead too. And you can see his over here. That's his screen set up over there. What he's doing, and of course, they're looking at all the radio spectrogram like they normally would to check out all the
Right.
signals in the area. They
And
got several different things going on, but
looks like they got the 1.6 highlighted.
yeah, yep. As they were first getting it, and really starting to go, wait a minute, why do we keep getting the signal? So that was cool. And there's another shot of that same scene there where they were, and this is, I believe, like I said, I believe this is when they were replaying the rabbi chant. Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's the guy from the rabbi show. Then I saw his name. Yeah, exactly. I really liked him, and I liked what he brought to bear for the team. And they were looking at this, the thermal, and when they played during the time they were playing the rabbi chant, the temperature raised in the area looking at Homestead 2 by 11 degrees. Now, think about that, folks. At night, clear sky. What generally happens as it gets later into the night with a clear sky in an area like this? It gets colder, not warmer. Not unless a warm front all of a sudden comes through, which then it would stay warm, but it wouldn't go back to its original temperature and then start dropping again, right? So 11 degrees it went up when he was there. And I actually
I agree with SM Pirate or
right,
SMS Pirate on this. That was my favorite episode too. That and the I'm just so blown away that
go ahead.
words did that. It's like there's these things that you grow up thinking like, oh, where you told like the things you say matter, your thoughts and intentions
Mhm.
are actually creating the world around you. And it's hard to it's hard to know it. I know it, but do I truly know it? I feel like seeing things like that, it really like makes me feel like magic is real.
Mhm.
And science is now able to measure it. And when I say magic, of course, that's just my word for it. But it's an exciting thing for me that they're confirming things that like so many of us feel to be true, but maybe haven't fully invested in it because we're still holding out like, oh, well, we live in a material world and we need evidence, but
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense
No,
to
it
a lot of
does.
people.
And we do. We always want to have proof of things. We're not gonna, most of us want that data. We got to have the data. We got to have the proof, or we're not going to believe it. Well, sometimes you have to look outside the box and look at the sometimes the data um, won't be there, but you have enough pieces of evidence that you can kind of piece it together. Does that make it absolutely true still at that point? No.
But it
It's like the whole
suggests,
Bigfoot
right?
story. I mean,
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
all the credible stuff that they found, but they still don't have a body or bones.
And then you get into well, is Bigfoot something that is, well, I mean, we're really going, is it, can it be, we have to shift over into the spiritual to truly
Yeah.
understand Bigfoot, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Robot had said it was a little suspicious that the grass was not beaten down
Thanks, yeah.
in the horse pen, but that horse pen, I don't know when that picture was taken, so we don't know. And that there hasn't been anything used in that horse pen in years. So I got to throw that out, Robot. That I don't think that the horses have been in that pen for. I don't think the ranch is even being used anymore. So
Mm.
yeah, so there you go. I believe it's all locked up. They keep it locked up and everything. So we can, if we can't find meaningful connection with our constructs there, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's so the words opened something, caused a physical reaction, and like my question is, was it the rabbi and his, or can I say it? Can is
Right,
obviously they got a reaction just playing it back.
right.
So
And I've got a little video clip of that
ooh, cool.
Skinwalker Ranch session, and I'm going to show that real quick here. And it's real quick though, and you'll see. I'm going to just go ahead and play it here. I mean, and that was about the time that the that little thing showed up at the bottom of the
Mhm.
screen and kind of moved across the bottom. Now that
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
been, if that was a bug, that should have been, would that not have been a small heat signature rather than a cold signature in blue? I don't know.
I don't know either. I would think that they would know though, right? To not get excited over a bug.
Yeah, and not get excited about some little blue orb that's moving across the bottom of the
Right.
screen. I don't know, but yeah. So, but it changed that dramatically. That one was actually getting colder because of the blue, but they
Mm.
actually had the temperature raised by 7 or 11 degrees during that as well. So, I don't know.
So Brenda thinks it was the intention behind the rabbi's prayer. So intention can be recorded and transmitted again. Then, if that.
All right.
Anyway,
Well, think,
sorry.
well, no, so you're right, but think about that too, and that's something that I really I had to jump out on because okay, you talk about all the different religions, right? And as you people know, I've mentioned it many times. I'm a Christian.
You're a
Okay,
Christian.
so uh, they have a chant to open a portal. What? What exactly do you believe in? I mean,
Mm.
what is that you would have a chant, a rabbi chant to open a portal? I got to look into that more. I mean, I remember them saying that years, in 2020 when we saw that episode,
Mhm.
but it didn't really smack me in the face until I heard it again last night or Tuesday night, and I was like, wait a
Mhm.
minute, a chant to open a portal. I
Yeah.
I have to dig into this now.
Right. I agree. I think all religions have the mystic sects or sides of them, right? And obviously within Judaism, there's a mysticism. Islam, Christianity, there's mystic, beliefs and sects. But I had never. I'm curious as to why they would. And maybe opening a portal. Maybe that's our modern language, right? Maybe
Yes, you could be right.
when they originally were writing the prayer, it was a different wording.
Yeah.
Kabbalah, yeah, I know that's kind of maybe that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that just struck me. Opening a portal.
Well, I mean, it's you're a Christian. Is it the Book of John where it starts that God, in the beginning was the Word,
Mm-hmm.
that the God created with sound, what they word,
Mm-hmm. True.
and if
True.
we are of God, then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe that. Anyways, sorry,
Yeah.
just
What Vesta said right there is what I was thinking. Chanting allows you to focus. Yes,
right.
that's kind of what I was thinking too. But to open a portal, I just thought that was I got to check that out further.
Right. To me, it's one of those things where I'm like, is that something within all of us that we could do? A
Yeah, I would
lost,
say yes. Why not?
yeah, a lost,
If
you
you're of
know,
the right frame of mind and you
yeah,
are sincere in your heart, I think yes. I think
yeah.
any of us could. So,
I think
but
there's a lot of
that's
things that we've lost. Like,
oh yeah, we've
wasn't that long ago. Humans, we didn't we assumed most of the population couldn't read. And then we decided, well, let's teach everybody to read, and now everybody can read. Most, majority of population can read because we taught them. How many things, other things, abilities, ways to perceive and transmit information and share information with one another exist, but we just lost the ways to teach ourselves how to do it.
I'm with you 100%, dude.
Thank you for humoring all my speculations.
Because I've talked about that. I think we've lost a lot of things that we used to be in tune with. And it's just because of our modern technology, these things right here.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of what I was saying earlier of like science seems to be confirming a lot of the ancient wisdom that's been passed down to us from our ancestors.
Yep. Boy, we could go down that rabbit hole a long way. Well, we need to keep moving on so we can go watch.
We got the insiders.
Okay, so what they also found that night was the 1.6 gigahertz. This was back in 2020 at Skinwalker Ranch when they did the rabbi chant. So wild stuff. Okay, here they are in the future last year, and they're doing this at Bradshaw Ranch. They got some regular old,
that's a cold night.
It's a really cold night.
Yeah.
I don't know about doing investigations.
They didn't have any space heater.
Yeah. I mean, like, come on, really? All right. So there's the thermal imaging showing that 28 degrees. Now, the 28 degrees is the cold spots were up the up front stuff. And back here, and I was a little confused on this until I watched it again. The 38 is the tree line.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So you got that up there looking at the tree line is at 38.7, and the front stuff up here, the grass and the fence and all that are 28.2. And they got the thermometers over here hanging on the fence so they could kind of have that as well to get a reference of it. And as they went along, they ended up increasing in temperature, and it increased very quickly when they were playing the signal sound back from the 1.6 gigahertz that Eric has recorded. Okay. They played it back, the sound, I don't think they were not transmitting on 1.6, but they were playing the recorded sound that was recorded from the 1.6 from the ranch.
That's how I understood it as well.
Yeah, right. And you see that the tree line went up from 38, and then the front one, 28.2, the cold spot, and then both of them go up to 46 at one point. And actually, I got a little video of this too that I'll show in a minute, but also up to 32 degrees up front. So while they were playing it, it went up in temperature. So, and again, you look at the rabbi chant, okay, somebody had mentioned a thermal pocket that could have made the temperature rise 11 degrees. Yes, that's true. It could have been a thermal pocket that happened to move through and it raised the temperature. But why did it happen right when they were playing the rabbi chant? Was that a coincidence?
Could be. If you believe in those.
If you believe in coincidences. Yeah. They also did a laser light show or a laser display or whatever you want to call it, poking the hornet's nest with lasers. They also did that out at the ranch, Skinwalker Ranch, and I actually had a couple of different pictures that I wanted to show of that I did not put in the sequence there.
Yeah, when they first started the laser show, I thought, okay, well, what are they hoping to accomplish with this? Because with the Skinwalker Ranch, it seemed like they were. I thought they were pointing it like in the triangle, right, where they were.
Yeah, they were, and at the mesa.
Yeah, so with this one where they're doing it at Bradshaw Ranch, I felt like they were just kind of being like, hey, we're here. Here's all this light information. And when they were talking about how far it could go with it being a clear night, that's when I started to get pretty impressed and go, okay, well, let's, and then obviously they got a reaction.
Yeah. Here's one of them from back in previous seasons on Skinwalker Ranch where they're shooting the lasers from the South Observation Tower at the mesa, which I thought was really cool. Here's the one that they were shooting at Homestead too.
You do not want to get that in your eye.
No. So, and they got results, which I think was the cool reason why they brought these up in the first place, because they got some results. So why not do it, right? So So they went out to the area, which they called the UFO site on Bradshaw Ranch. This is where Bob Bradshaw said he saw the UFO coming down, or the spaceship, as he called it, coming down that hill and onto the ranch. That's this spot right here. They decided to go set up out there. That's them. And they're going to be shooting this area back here on the background. You see the little hill going up. They're going to set up where they're standing and then shoot at that direction. And they brought out the new salt laser specialist, Tim Anderson, and Jeremy Fenton. Now, these were the guys that were involved. And I love, again, bringing those guys out back from, the other ranch. And here's a simulation of what they're going to be doing. They're going to be shooting it at that hillside where he saw the UFO coming down. And they're, hoping that they would get some sort of anomaly or something showing up on it. And they also are setting up 2 cameras that are looking at the sky. And they call this the UFO DAP, UFO DAP, or UFO DAP. And there's 2 cameras. They're both looking at the sky in a little bit slightly different regions and slightly different angles. So they turn them a little bit. So they're looking at it. And what is cool about this, and this is, we're going to have an Insider's Insights pretty soon where we're going to have the guys from Sky 360 on. This is going to be an interesting show. The guys from Sky 360 they have developed a camera setup that we will probably see at some point out at the ranch too, hopefully. But we're going to see these cameras. Well, what these things do, there's two different cameras and a computer brain running the whole thing. One of the cameras is like these here, where it is looking at, it's a fisheye. It's looking at the sky and it's looking for any movements, whether it be a satellite, one of the Starlink satellites, an airplane going by, whatever it may be. Yes, it is very cool. I agree, David. And it can look at those things and it can tell, because of the algorithms in the computer portion of it, if it's an airplane, a bird, a bug, whatever. Right. It can tell what it is. And it makes a determination at that point. It makes it okay. Thank you, Linda. I just read your message there. It makes a determination of whether or not to bother looking at it and tracking it. If it does decide to track it, then the other camera, that is a PTZ, I believe, will then lock on to that movement, whatever that object is it's moving, and zoom in on it and follow it and try to track it. It's a really cool thing, and I'm working, I've been talking to Tommy about it. We're going to have them guys come on. We actually had one of the guys that's part of it. He came on with the Bigfoot show. And
okay.
Yeah, the guy with the beard and everything. I forgot his name. I'm sorry, I forgot his name at the moment, but he's part of that as well. So we're going to have those guys come on and talk about this. So this technology really, really fascinates me, because now you can eliminate those items that you don't need to bother with. Airplanes that blink and you can see the lights blinking, the green and blue, or green and red. I've got the 2 colors, red and blue, or green and blue, I think. He mentioned it on the show the other night. But this thing can actually decide whether or not it's something that needs to be tracked. Okay. So if the algorithms are written in the computer software well enough, it's going to ignore any airplane that happens to be going over, or any satellite that happens to be going over. They use AI on some of those cameras. Yep.
Very cool.
Light tracking was very interesting. Yes, it was. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Besta. I think you might be right on that. So with that, there's one of them that Andy is setting up there, and he's explaining everything to the guys before they get ready. They're getting ready they'll have to wait for nightfall so they can get started, but he's kind of explaining what the cameras. There's your 2 hunter and tracker. I think they called it hunter and tracker. One's hunting and then one tracks.
Very cool.
Yeah, really cool stuff. And then of course, they're looking for signals as well, which they better be. And then the light show starts. And somebody had mentioned it earlier, it was just too much to watch. It kind of was. I mean, they were running different programs that they have that makes shapes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be alone here in thinking, like, why weren't they blasting some Pink Floyd along with the laser light show? Music is a language.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's very good. Yes. I did not think of that, but you're right.
Yeah.
They should have had the lasers set up to go with the music.
Oh, yeah. See, if I owned the ranch, I would have a bunch of music festivals out there and just see how
We
it
should get
reacts to different
Jim,
bands.
we gotta talk to you about a song. You got to write me a song, dude. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow night before
Dark Side of the Ranch.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Oh, that's awesome. You're gonna write that for me, Jim? That's gonna be the name of the song you're gonna write for me, please.
Ooh.
Dark Side of the Ranch. I like that. All right. So, oh man, yeah. See, I need a ghost love score. Yeah, yeah. It looks like a lot of people waiting for fireworks at Disney, right? Yeah. And and the thing that got me, look where everybody's looking, except for he's looking up.
And that's Mason Bradshaw.
Yeah, he's looking up. He wants to see what's going on above, and I think so is Andy. Andy, I think that's Andy over there or somebody. He's kind of looking
You're
up
right.
too. Because you need to be looking at the sky when this is happening. Don't look at the light show. Somebody needs to watch the light show unless there's a spacecraft coming down through there. But I mean, looking up, and there it is.
Polka.
That's
Who's
what
talking
they
polka?
spot.
Polka, polka, polka. Polka,
Yeah.
polka, polka. Sorry, I saw polka in the chat.
Polka. That's B. Jones talking about polka. Lucy in the sky. Lucy in the sky over the ranch. Oh my gosh, Kate, that's awesome.
There's so many good comments.
Oh, we can have all kinds of. We're gonna have to have several songs now. Acid polka.
Hey, Jerry, my man. I'm not alone in wanting to have music concerts at the ranch.
I think it would. Why not, man? I mean, come on. All right.
Jimi Hendrix, when he played in Hawaii, people say they saw a UFO above him.
Really?
Yeah, look into the Jimi Hendrix Maui.
I got to write that down.
I forget what festival it was, but when he played in Hawaii, he took a break and went into like a tent and was meditating or whatever. And people say that they saw a UFO above him while he was in the tent, and I think maybe even while he was playing too. But it's been a lot of people saw it. I mean, I'd check out Jimi Hendrix too if I was a UFO.
If you were an alien, you'd check him out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I could time travel, that's what I would do. I'd go see every amazing show.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Jerry said, he said that himself about having concerts at the ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, playing accordion. Yeah, there you go. Acid polka.
That'd get a reaction from the ranch.
Punk polka. Alternative polka. All right. I'm digressing again. I'm sorry. All right. So, but yeah, they caught the UAP, and this was it here as it was going by. And I got a little bit of video that I want to show.
Yeah, the video was really interesting. Was it Paul that said it was like tumbling?
Yeah.
And I didn't really notice that at first until he said it. And then I
said it. Yeah.
It does kind of look like it's like something in that. Like, what is that?
That was it. They did a stop screen and froze it, and that was it. And you know what and I'm sorry, folks, but I'm going to digress here again for a second because I saw this and I thought, oh, I've seen that before. I know what that is. And for any of you that are familiar, I know what that is. It's Discord Man.
I was waiting, like, what is it? Wow. Sure enough, it is Discord Man.
It's Discord Man. So, so he was checking it out. Discord Man was checking it out with them. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that was terrible, wasn't it?
Oh, Polka the Hornet's Nest. That's a good one, Jerry.
Polka the Hornet's Nest. Oh, you guys, I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, so I think that does. I think that looks a lot like the Discord logo guy. All right. So Nitro, is that his name? Nitro. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Nitro.
okay. It is Nitro.
Yeah.
and this was one of two, or was it the same one?
It was the same. It was the same one. But now getting back to seriousness here, it was the same one, and this was remember you had talked about him saying it was tumbling.
Yeah.
And every tumble, you would see the two lights on it. Now, normally when we see these, when they capture one of these type things, we see one light.
Yeah.
It's just one single, or it appears to be one single light. And they were able to capture this one, and it's 2 lights on it. That's crazy.
I've seen videos where like the orbs or UAPs, UFOs, where they'll like merge and split. Like to me, that looks like when cells are dividing.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like when cells are dividing. Exactly right. Yep. So, and I've got a little video. I'm gonna go ahead and show that now. We can. Oh, we got time. Yeah, we still have a little time before the thing starts. I'm so I couldn't help it with the Discord guy or Discord logo. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Yeah.
Well, you were spot on. That's exactly what it looks like.
It's got to be. I mean, yes, this is serious what they're doing. It is, and I don't mean to make light of it, but you got to have a little fun, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to show the video that I created, and I always have to be a little careful with this because I'm not allowed to show much because of copyright stuff. But they let me get away with about 9 seconds or so of video. So I want to show this. The first one is the thermal that they had taken. And I wanted to show this, and also I'll play it a couple of times because I think it's interesting to watch the temperatures and also the flicker. And I've got 2 thermal cameras of my own that I use on investigations, and I have seen that happen, but yet I could not come up with an explanation behind why it happens. Sometimes you want to say, oh, it's just a glitch in the thermal camera, but I've had different manufacturers of thermal cameras, and I've seen them both do it. So what is causing that thermal hit? And I've also had, and I've seen it on TV as well, and I don't remember where it was. I think it was actually on one of the paranormal shows like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunt or something, where they're using a thermal and it looks like something passes across the field of view from side to side.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a second. And the camera was looking in one direction, and that a thermal image, the thermal heat signature of something didn't look like a body. It's like a mist that went by that was warm all of a sudden or cold all of a sudden.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Don't know.
This is making me think of what we're going to get to talk about tomorrow with what Jay experienced.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about tomorrow's show too. That's
I'm jumping ahead, but it made me think where I'm like, anyways, let's watch this. I'm excited.
That's going to be a good show. All right, so the first clip here is of the thermal hit or the thermal camera, and you'll see that show here real quick. And check out your temperatures in the top left and the top right. And watch the flicker. See, there's the first flicker. And watch the temperature here. It's going to, did you see that? I'm going to play it again. Now, when you see that thermal, this went by so fast on the show the other night, we really didn't get a chance. That's why I wanted to show you again tonight. Because if you watch the temperature here in the top left and watch the temperature in the top right. Now, remember, the one on the top right is looking at the tree line in the background or the hillside. Actually, the hillside. Or the tree line. And then you've got the one in the front that's looking at the fence and the grass in the foreground, the yellowish kind of colors. Okay. So watch those again as they change here. There it is. Okay. Especially watch the one on the right as the flicker happens. Okay. Whoops. There we go. It jumped up to 50 some degrees.
And so the tree line was jumping, but I mean, it was jumping in the foreground as well.
Yeah. Yeah. The foreground picture jumped up quite a bit, and it jumped from 30 or 28. I think, well, let's see what it was originally when it started. It was about 30 when I started the capture, 28. And then it jumps up 32 right there. And then it stays at 32, where the other one jumped actually hit near, was it near 50?
Yeah. I like what Vesta says. Emission of energy. That's what it feels like you're watching, like this.
50. It jumped up to 50.
Ooh. And the whole
field
of view reacts.
Yeah. Everything.
Not just like a spot. It's
Right.
boom.
Right. Yeah, the fence
Interesting.
too. Everything did. So it's like, well, yeah, like emission of energy or something happened there. I don't know, man. But and like I said, I've seen things like that happen on a thermal. So when that happens, you want to think, oh my gosh, is this thing malfunctioning? But no, it's because it actually saw a temperature change that happened that quickly that made it
Yeah.
jump like that. And that's crazy though. It's what could cause that? Again, is that a thermal pocket that happened? But why when they were making, using that signal? They were sending not the they weren't transmitting on 1.6. They were playing the recorded audio that was in the 1.6.
Oh, interesting, David.
Yeah, that's a very good point, David. And we know they saw some of that on there.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis brought up something about radon, how it'll pool on the
Yeah,
ground.
and as you're walking, you can stir it
You
up.
kick it up. I did not know that. I
What
had
will
no idea.
will radon naturally pool, or does it pool after?
It's a gas. It's a gas, so to speak. So it will pool. I didn't know it did that. I honestly did not. So that's what I love about learning these things. You can learn stuff from these shows, and that's what's
Yeah.
really cool. All right. The next clip I have is of the actual. This is of the actual UAP that they captured. Now this goes. I mean, it's going to go by a few different times. I captured it in a couple different ways here.
This
But
is Discord Man falling from the sky.
yeah, Discord Man coming there. There it is, going by there. And there it is there. And then you'll see it again here, some more. There's a little bit more to this. Oh, they follow it. They slowed it down so they could follow it up there.
Oh, cool.
They actually slowed it down because it was moving by so quickly.
Right. Didn't they show us, or I guess when they were showing like here's what a normal plane would look like when they were
Yes.
talking to Eric and Travis. Yeah, because I was thinking too, well, you say it's moving fast, but I don't know what what fast is, but compared to how a plane was flying, that is super fast.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And like you said, it looked like it was tumbling. It definitely, to me, looked like it was tumbling because it's kind of a do-do-doop, do-do-doop, do-do-doop. As you watch it, it's
Right.
almost do-do-doop, 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 as it's rolling. So it is that tumbling. When he said that, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what it seems like. Now there, they, like I said, they slowed it down on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's pretty crazy.
Is it rotating or blinking? Exactly, Jan. I don't
know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a plane. Spent a lot of time looking at the sky since joining the Insiders, and that certainly doesn't look like anything explainable that I've seen us catch.
Nor have I.
I've seen a lot of satellites, a lot of shooting stars, a lot of fireflies. Haven't seen that.
No, I haven't either. And again, your planes now, when we watch them on the Skinwalker Ranch live streams, and we would see some of the planes going over, even when you just look up in the night sky, I have seen Starlink satellites in a line going out to heading out to their particular positions that they're going to start in, because those things are always moving, and you can usually tell a Starlink satellite when you see one moving through the night sky. But then they don't blink. And planes are supposed to have those blinking lights. So if you're really watching a plane, if you check it out closely, you can actually see there's some blinking light on it. Even at the higher altitudes, you can generally catch a blinking light. It doesn't look like that.
No, and they're much more, they're not like...
Yeah, they're not like tumbling unless... Yeah, they're not tumbling out of the sky or anything like that.
Yeah.
The last part of the show was talking about the radiation, and this is another thing that kind of caught me by surprise. And as you saw, so did Travis.
Yeah.
Travis
he was very excited.
Yeah, by this. Now, Travis mentioned here you've got like the rectangle. This one picked up like a rectangle right there, and then you've got this one that has two rectangles showing up on it. This was just a continuation of the same one where it was just the top one and then this one appears. But Travis had talked about when you shine a laser or something through and I forget, help me with this if you can remember, but he talked about its residual when they shoot it through a hole,
Right.
and its residual, what transpires from that coming through the other side will look similar to this. So he was saying that that's what this looked like to him
Mm-hmm.
in experiments that they've done. Like this was being projected through some sort of a I don't know. Help me out with it. I don't remember exactly. I tried to write it down and I didn't.
Yeah,
Catch it exactly.
I don't know that I could explain it better than you did, Jeff, but I did pick up on him getting very excited and pointing out the rectangle nature of each shape was interesting. Seeing the way that the lines kind of connect around each way. Really pretty picture. I just thought, oh, that's neat. It's pretty. But hearing the way Travis explained it, seemed like this was potentially something really profound.
Yeah. He said rectangular coming through a hole, diffraction pattern. This was
Diffraction pattern.
a diffraction pattern through a hole in the sky is what he was talking about.
Oh, snap. And it's interesting because that rectangular shape is the same shape as what the Mrs. Bradshaw described opening up.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Well, and you saw them get very excited about this. So, okay. So the takeaway from this for me was that they took some of the same experiments, the thermals, the lasers, the 1.6 gigahertz transmitting not the signal, not transmitting the actual signal, but playing the sound of the signal. And they put all this stuff together and are getting some of the same exact results. That is my big takeaway from this. I thought. What about you guys and you and Seth and the chat? What was your takeaway from this? Did you get that same impression? Was there something I missed on this? Let me know what you thought.
Yeah, I agree with you. I felt like the 1.6 was really interesting because it's not just a ranch thing.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Andy's explanation. He seemed to, as I understood it, he said that 1.6 is a communication from space to Earth. That's what that frequency or range is used for.
Yeah.
So I liked that explanation.
And he said it wasn't a constant. That's why you would see it in blips because it transmits and it's done to save energy. Transmits and done. When it's designed to most satellites, when they're designed to transmit,
right. And that was cool because they're going around, so they can only they only transmit at the opportune time. So whatever was transmitting it constantly was able to be stationary.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that was really cool. I think seeing the same people from the show get to come back, we get a chance to see how the technology has evolved, like with that little handheld gamma photo. He didn't have that in season 1.
Gamma cam.
So I think it's exciting to get to see how some of these technologies have progressed in the last couple of years. So that'd be cool. Like I said in the beginning, I knew it was going to be a hard act to follow because it was a really, really good Skinwalker Ranch episode. And I thought they got really impressive stuff. I've watched a lot of UFO documentaries where people have gotten excited over far less quantifiable data. So it was a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good episode. So I'm impressed so far with what they came up with. I'm somebody had mentioned about the guys were a little bit too theatrical. I didn't really get that. But I'm looking at this as two different ways also. Number one is we're getting to see them taking on a new role in a new position on all new stuff that they're doing. Neither one of them have been doing this kind of thing before. Yes, Paul is a guy who's been on TV, he's been on shows, he's been on, he's done investigate. He's a reporter. That's what he's done. But they're kind of both taking on something new here. as you see with a brand new TV show that comes out with characters and scripts and all that kind of stuff, that they need to roll into their characters. I think these two will roll into their positions as they go along here. We'll see how that goes. And my verdict on them too right now is okay. And I want to see how they do. I want to see how they go forward with all this. I think they did a good job with it. And I think that we'll see. Somebody has also said, there's been some talk about it being very scripted. We know, I don't know. I think the experiments were all set up ahead of time. So if you want to call that being scripted, I don't think what they said and all that was scripted. I don't think the results that they got was scripted at all. I think that was all that, happenstance. That's what happened when they did their experiments. So,
yeah, I don't think Brandon would let Skinwalker Ranch be associated with something that was going to make up data, or I think he's very serious that this is an extension of the investigation at Skinwalker Ranch. This, like the investigation at Skinwalker Ranch, is going to change science, is going to change our perspective of the world and ourselves in it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am too.
I don't think that they would falsify results like that. I think if they went out there and they found nothing, they would say that.
Yeah.
Because if anything, if they find more stuff, cool, the phenomena exists everywhere and can be measured other places. If they don't find it at these certain places, cool, we can cross that off the list. And now it points to how even more special Skinwalker Ranch is. It's a win-win. It's like on Oak Island. They don't get disappointed when they get to the bottom of something. They get excited. Okay, great. Now we know we can cross it off the list. It's all important.
Yes, that's a very good point. Yeah, exactly. Jenny said, I do think that it would make more sense if they hired scientists to do the science experiments. Do you think they would allow other scientists to step up, to step on Travis and Eric's toes? I don't know. Would that be stepping on their toes? I don't know. But it is a point to think about. That is something to think about, whether or not that they would have actual scientists doing these or investigators. I don't know. That's something to certainly think about. Yeah, the next one, Jim said the next one is the Mount Wilson episode. Just wait for that one. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm also looking forward. I had this picture up earlier. I'm also looking forward to this. Chris Bledsoe getting a perm. So
this was on the preview.
Yeah, this was on the preview. So I'm looking forward to this one too.
I'm very excited for that as well.
Yeah, that's yeah. If you've read the book, you might get an idea of what's happening there. And I am looking forward to the forward to the Mount Wilson. And if any of you guys have watched Carl the Crusher, he's been on the show. I had him on an episode. Carl the Crusher. He's done a lot of stuff out at Mount Wilson Ranch, and that was another ranch that was owned by Bigelow at one time.
I didn't know that until looking into Mount Wilson when I heard it was going to be episode 2.
I don't know if I don't know. Is he going to be in the show? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody else can answer that question if he's actually in it or not. But he's got his YouTube channel, Carl the Crusher. Good stuff. I mean, him and Christopher Bartell. And Leto is out there with them. Chris Leto, and who else? James Keenan has been out there with them and stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, Carl the Crusher's got some good stuff. So we'll get to see more about the Mount Wilson Ranch too. So that's going to be a good one. So Rocky Mount Ranch in Colorado will be on the 20th. Yep. Oh, is he? Okay. Is he involved in that? That might be really cool. I can't wait to see these. This is going to be some good stuff. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the guys come up with more going in the road. Now, they may come up with some experimentation that they may use later on at the Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know. We'll see. So
yeah. I'm excited to see if we see how they evolve their view of phenomena like this as they encounter people like Chris Bledsoe and all these other sites. Will their views change or be more confirmed? I don't know. I mean, I don't know their background or what they think the source of all this is. But I'm excited. I did see in an interview they were kind of in the beginning of the show how they were talking about, oh, you know, we've been shot at and had tear gas, and
Yeah.
I think they maybe underestimated the dangers of these investigations. I don't think they recognized how serious, like what Travis went through and Thomas went through.
Right.
So,
Exactly. Timer's up. We were out of time. We got to roll.
oh, is Linda ringing the bell? All right. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, she gave us the warning. We're at time, so we got to roll.
Y'all got to cut me off. I'll keep talking on.
No, I know. Well, you're going to be here tomorrow night with Jim Kelgard going to be with us, so we're going to have a lot of fun. So don't want to miss that one. Tomorrow night we're going to be talking about episode number 7 of Skinwalker Ranch, and we're going to have special guest co-host Jim Kelgard will be with us. You guys see him in the chat here tonight. So we're really looking forward to that one, and we're going to break it down and get to take a close look at the new guy showing up, Jay Stratton. And I've been looking forward to this one. I really have. I can't wait to see what this gentleman has to say. All right, folks, that's it for us tonight. We will catch you tomorrow night. We hope you are here. Same channel, JFree906 on YouTube, and the same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we will be right here with episode number 7 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Seth, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Linda, thanks for helping out with the chat again tonight. We'll catch you next time right here on the JFree906 podcast. Good night, everybody.
Night.